Touch by Scott Timmins. Exterior, wooded area crime scene, late afternoon. Officers and investigators mill about behind yellow crime scene tape. On the ground, a sheet covers a body. Detective Schmidt, talking with the coroner, is approached by an officer. Schmidt nods, turns and sees Michelle being led to him by another officer. Her hair is tousled and she looks pale.
Michelle?
She looks into his eyes, not responding. He nods to the officer to leave her with him. The officer walks away. His attention's back to Michelle, who is staring at the body under the sheet. Schmidt's partner walks over to the two of them.
What's she doing here, Bob?
I don't know.
Michelle doesn't react, eyes focused on the sheet, looking like she's going into shock.
Michelle, what are you doing here?
She says nothing as she walks over to the body. She finally breaks her trance, looks at the detective, almost in tears.
I need to hold her hand.
Both detectives and the coroner look puzzled, watch her go to her knees. She takes a deep breath, then reaches out a trembling hand. Close-up of Michelle's hand reaching inside the sheet, touching hands with the victim. Flashback. Exterior, highway shoulder, night. We see a car sitting on the side of a highway off-ramp, rain pouring down from the skies, steam rising from inside the hood of her car. Interior, victim's car, same time. A young girl, approximately 17 years old, sits in her car, tears in her eyes, shaking her cell phone, which is dark.
Shit! Can't believe this. What am I going to do? Dad's going to kill me.
She opens the back of the cell, removes the battery, wipes it on her jeans, then places it back in the phone. She hits the on button, but nothing happens.
Shit!
We see a van with bright headlights pull up behind her. The lights temporarily blind her through her rearview mirror. She quickly locks the door.
Fuck. Who is this?
She continues to look at her mirror, hoping to see who might be behind her, when suddenly there is a knock on her window, causing her to scream.
Sorry for startling you.
The girl catches her breath, but is still freaked out.
Are you having car problems, miss?
She looks at the figure standing outside her car, but can't see a face.
Yes, I'm trying to reach my dad, but my cell is dead. I have AAA, but I can't reach them either.
Miss, I am with AAA. I told cars for them. I'm off duty, but I saw you here and thought you might be having problems.
He reaches into his pocket, pulls out his wallet, searches until he finds his AAA card. He shows it to her, but because of the rain, she can't see it.
I can't read it. Can you bring it closer to my window?
He steps closer and brings the card right next to the closed window. She can see what's on the card. She breathes a little easier.
See?
Yes, thanks.
Would you like a ride home?
She's still looking up to him, but can't make out his face. This question makes her nervous again, and she doesn't answer.
I'm sorry, that was a dumb question. How about I go back and get my cell and bring it to you so you can call your dad and AAA?
She smiles.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Be right back.
She watches him walk away, tries to look in her mirror for him going to his van, but the lights are too bright.
Jesus, what is wrong with me?
She keeps trying to turn on her phone, when again she is startled by his hand knocking on her window.
Sorry.
She laughs nervously.
It's not you, it's me. This is my first time driving on my own. My dad is going to kill me.
She looks up, hoping to see a smile, but she still cannot make out his face in the darkness and weather. He holds out his cell. She rolls down her window a few inches.
Miss, that's not a big enough space.
The teen's hand is trembling when she rolls down the window a little further.
Miss, I promise you I'm not gonna hurt you.
She rolls the window down a little further. He extends his arm out. As she reaches out her window for the phone, a gloved hand grabs her hand and arm with great force and slams her against the window. He does it again. She falls against the steering wheel, bloodied, stunned. We see the gloved hand reach inside to unlock the door. Exterior, wooded area crime scene, same time. Michelle is holding the victim's hand, shaking, eyes closed as we see the three men standing, watching intently. Flashback continues. Interior, basement, night. The teen is tied in a crucifix position to a large, long wooden table. Cut to, Michelle's breathing is very heavy, her hand tightening on the victim's hand. Interior basement continuing. The teen is gagged. She awakens, eyes searching her environment, sees a dark figure wearing a ski mask approaching. She frantically tries to break her bondage, screaming hopelessly into her gag. Exterior, wooded area crime scene, same time. Michelle's body is visibly trembling, eyes still closed.
She's so scared.
Detective Schmidt's eyes opening wider, watching Michelle. Interior, basement, continuing. The teen watches the hooded figure grab a metal table, rolls it next to her. A sheet that is covering the table is removed. The girl screams into her gag when she sees all kinds of knives on the table, as well as a Bible. Her panicked eyes watch as the man grabs a long serrated knife from the table. He approaches her. He brings the knife to the front of her shirt. She struggles with her restraints. He watches her fear, and through the mask his eyes seem to be smiling. This causes her to scream more. Before she can react, the knife slices through the buttons of her shirt. His hands reach in, spreads her top open. He slowly brings the knife to the front of her bra, begins teasing her by running it over her breasts. Then, in one quick move, he slices open the bra, causing her to scream again into her gag, tears streaming down her face. Exterior, wooded area crime scene, same time.
She's so helpless. Please, stop.
Tears start falling from her closed eyes. Interior, basement, continuing. The man is now holding a pair of scissors. He starts cutting off her sweatpants. When he is done, he pulls the material away. He stands back to watch her fear, then brings his hand down to the front of his jeans. He touches himself, but just briefly. He goes back to the table and adjusts the restraints, allowing him to pull her legs apart, the girl struggling, screaming hysterically into her gag. He walks back to the table, his eyes searching. The girl looks over to the table too, sees so many different knives, the Bible. She can now see crucifixes as well. He grabs one of the crucifixes as well as a small knife. He turns back to look at the girl, his eyes seemingly dancing. He approaches her, extends his hand out with the knife, and cuts off her panties. He places the crucifix just above her pubic region, then turns back to the table. He puts down that knife and grabs a very nasty-looking, deeply serrated knife. He turns back and walks to the girl, bringing the knife to her throat.
Forgive me, Father, for I am a sinner.
The girl's eyes are wide open with fear as she watches the knife come to her throat. Exterior, wooded area crime scene, same time.
No!
The three men are watching with different expressions on their faces. Schmidt looks terrified. The coroner, confused. Schmidt's partner, skeptical. Michelle brings her hands to her neck, tears flowing down her face. She then doubles up in pain, her hands between her legs. Finally, she falls to the ground. Schmidt runs to her.
Michelle?
He reaches down for her. His touch seems to awaken Michelle from her trance. She looks up at him, eyes bloodshot, confused. He helps bring her to her feet. Her eyes dance around the area, dazed. When she finally seems to know where she is, she turns to Schmidt.
Her name is Rachel.